Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2019 Ferrari Manager Career Mode here for round number 11 in Season 2 of the Singapore Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the previous one, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. That was obviously a difficult Grand Prix for us. Mercedes had an engine advantage over us, so it wasn't always going to be the best one. But going to Singapore then, obviously engine's not going to be the determining factor. We've got acceleration, deceleration, and low-speed corners being the crucial ones. And if we look at the chart over here in terms of our car parts, we are first in all those departments, so we really couldn't challenge Merc too much. We tried our best with Verstappen, obviously. He didn't actually get Ricciardo in the end, which was pretty decent, I think, in terms of damage limitation. We didn't get the fast half of the Grand Prix, Alonso did, so Merc only gained one singular point on us, so it could have been a lot worse, really, because from qualifying, I thought that was going to be a whitewash of a 1-2 in the race. So we did the best job there. Singapore, I think we have a very good chance of getting a 1-2 here ourselves, and actually, you know, basically matching that and doing better than Merc did last episode. So not all is lost in that kind of regard, so we move on then. Interview after that Grand Prix. Hartley's agent saying agents want me, we might want to sign him. Obviously he's done very well in Haas, but that's more the car, so I'm just going to say not a chance. I'm never going to look at him. To be fair, he's 4 stars, so we've wondered why Hartley's been doing so well in recent races in that Haas car. To be fair, because of the mod, the way the mod works with potential drivers, the way they grow in terms of their stats, he's actually as good now as Charles Leclerc, which is pretty crazy, because obviously Leclerc was one of our main drivers last season, so fair play, I guess, but that's just the way the mods work in terms of Haas have had the results, and so Hartley's grown in that way. But in terms of looking at the pit crew now, obviously we've got that new staff centre, which came in last episode, so now when we hire any new pit crew, they will, well, in theory, should actually add on 2 points every time we hire them. So level 16 here, I'm going to test this out. I think we have the space to hire him, potentially. Yeah, we do. So if I sign this guy, he's level 16 on tyres, but because we've got the +2 on staff, yeah, he turns into level 18, so that is absolutely awesome. So we're going to have a real sort of line-off the pit crew from now on, pretty much, because everyone will get added on by 1 base, and you can see here, actually, already, our level 18s have turned to level 19s, and vice versa, obviously 18s, 17s have become 18s, so that's really decent. We've got a lot of swapping out to do, though, because a lot of these guys are quite tired. 1.1, 0.7, 1.1 on a lot of the guys in terms of how tired they are, or their mistake percentage rather. So we'll swap out some of these guys and hopefully not have too much of a detriment to our pit stop time. I mean, we're already pretty damn sick. 1.96 seconds potentially on the pit stop time. I think that's the lowest pit stop time we've ever had in theory, so we're looking already good, even if we have to swap out some of these guys, so it won't be too bad, because all the level 17s have turned to 18s now, so the time is pretty decent. We swap this guy out, fixing parts. I'm going to swap in this level 16, since some of you guys have been telling me in the comments below that I should probably just have a good 2 set of people on fixing, since we have had to do a few little part fixes here and there, mainly for Verstappen, but I'm not trying to blame anyone. In terms of the front jack, have I got anyone? Yes, I do. 0.2, swap him out. Decent. So pit stop tire 2.02 then in the end, because that's slowed down from the front jack. That's not too bad, and I think all these guys are pretty fresh. Yeah, I think they're pretty good, so hopefully there's going to be no mistakes come the Grand Prix. But we now move on. We are waiting still 16 days for a brand new engine to be made. We've got the HQ, a new forecasting center, which honestly, I've actually forgot we actually bought for like 8 million or whatever that was, like 3 episodes ago. So that will come in. So if it is going to rain, indeed, for the rest of the season, any of these races, now I should get an even better chance to look ahead and plan a strategy ahead for the race if it's going to rain later on, and vice versa if it rains at the start and it's going to get to dry. I'll be able to see that a little bit better with the forecasting center. So as we move on, that HQ building is done and complete. So in terms of new buildings, we have still 74 million to burn. I say burn because pretty much we needed, what, about 35 million, 40 million at the end of last season, and then added on to the prize money we get to build a new car. So that's 74 million. We've probably got half of that to basically use on new buildings, so we may as well continue to kind of improve upon that. So on performance buildings, we're actually 3rd best behind Red Bull and Mercedes. So that's pretty much all the actual part knowledge is, trying to get them to legendary. Obviously, iterations, though, take into account of that. So I don't personally see any point of upgrading any of these part buildings, basically, because we're never going to get to the iteration of legendary in the span of a 16-race season. So instead, I might just go for another staff center, you know, because upgrading buildings, all of these are just going to be for parts. Are they not? Yes, it looks like they are. Apart from forecasting center, staff center, and then I can, well, I've actually already got a helipad and tour center, so literally just these two. So may as well. 8 million, that's really not a lot for us. That's really a drop in the water, so we'll go ahead and upgrade that. That'll take 12 weeks, I think that is. So we're down to 66 million. That's still so much to say that we're, what, like 2/3 of the way through the season, and even if I was to start saving money for next year's car, I could still burn 23 million and still save enough for next year's car, so that's all fine. So we'll move on then. Probably not going to get this this engine done before the next race. Yeah, no, we're going to go to Singapore before that engine gets made. So pretty much the only thing will be to look at is this new political vote coming up, and this will be for points for the top 24 drivers. So this is points for every single driver on the grid. This will benefit, obviously, equality-focused teams. Scuderia Ferrari, Alfa Romeo will not benefit traditional teams, apparently, like myself and Williams. We've got so many people undecided. I'm against this, of course, because it doesn't help us as Ferrari, but also at the same time, I wasted all my voting power in the last episode trying to get through the removal of the fast lap of the Grand Prix points, so I've got no voting power here. I've only got one. I'm just going to abstain, save that, because also, even though it's maybe not going to be great for us as Ferrari, it's also not going to matter that much, because it just means that if you have a bad race, you still pick up points. So, it, you know, swings and roundabouts, really. So we'll continue on, and we'll just abstain from this and see how everyone votes. A lot of people undecided. Let's see how this swings then. It looks like a lot of people will just abstain like I did, and looks like we've got a majority for approving that vote. So we've got 7-4. Fair enough. Okay, so from next season then, if we do indeed do another season of this series, there will be points for every single driver, which is going to mix things up very much so. We've had that before. I think it was in the Renault career mode we did at the very end of last year in 2018. I think we had this equality points going on, and it basically just blew everything out of the water, because if you did have a bad race, it wasn't really a bad race, because, you know, you were probably only 4 points behind your rival, basically, even if you had a bad one. So that will be certainly mixing things up for Season 3, but we've still got a long way to go in Season 2. Still got a championship fight, of course, as we're level pegging with Mercedes, so we're just going to move on towards Singapore. In terms of the race report, we've got a 35% chance of rain, so I don't know, if it I wouldn't mind if it did rain, to be fair, because I think my car's good in the wet, and like I said, with the forecasting centre, we're going to have the ability to kind of look ahead time a lot better now. So we'll go in there with Juniper, our sponsor, in terms of part fittings. I think pretty much because we've got nothing new from last episode to this one, we will just stay put with everything. Yeah, I'll just stay put with everything, really. I mean, I was pleased by Verstappen's performance last episode for sure. In hindsight, if I did an aggressive strategy with Vettel as well last race, I could have definitely got the 2-3, but obviously we tried to go for it and try to stretch that one stop out. Just didn't work at the end, but it was still a pretty decent one in terms of the circumstances. But I think we should have a much stronger Grand Prix this time around in Singapore. So let's get into practice. Apparently it's going to be stormy and then clear in the qualifying and race, so might be quite a useless practice session for knowledge, but everyone will be in the same boat. Right, so it is raining at the start of practice. You can see now, with this forecasting centre, we can see way in advance now. The only thing that's kind of not there is the last third, pretty much, whereas before we could only see the first third of this water on track graph, basically, as the session goes on. So, looks like, well, actually, there's no point still on mediums, then. I should swap this onto inters. So we'll go on inters, we'll get knowledge on inters, but unless it's going to be like it was last episode with some raining quali, or maybe the race, it is going to be pretty much useless knowledge, but obviously you have to get through it anyway, so we'll do race trim. I'll go on 8 laps, to be fair, because I don't need to bother too much about doing the setup tweak quite yet. So I'll send them out for an 8-lap stint on the inters, and then pretty much by the time they're done with that stint, hopefully it's time to go onto the dry tyres, and I don't know, actually. I might actually ponder with the idea of maybe getting some knowledge on soft tyre instead, the middle compounder tyre, because that gives us then flexibility either way, if it rains, if it doesn't in the race, potentially. Don't know. We'll cross that bridge once we get to that, but for now, just sit back and let these guys do their thing on inters on the race trim and get as much knowledge as we can. And you can see it is definitely going to be stormy in terms of getting to full wet tyres right now, but it's also going to be raining a lot more at the end of the session, so we have only a pocket of dry running later on this session. So I'm going to need to time this correctly, kind of send them out kind of as the rain's still there on track, just so they can get at least one level on those super softs, and to that effect, I'll bring them in. Verstappen, did Vettel go across the line already? Yes, he did. That's a little bit annoying. Right, Verstappen's in. We'll wait. We'll tweak this up a little bit, but I honestly might send him out now on on a quali trim stint on the, well, what do we do? 30. These go, what's that? These go 5 more laps-ish, potentially, than the super softs. And in terms of the speed, they're just as quick as the super softs, really. So I think for once, let's break the mold here, and let's actually use the middle time compound tire here, and we'll get that knowledge done. So in terms of setup work, I don't know where they want to go with this. I'm going to guess maybe a little high downforce, because they have a bit more to go on the acceleration front. So let's try that out for size and see if that's going to be where they want to be in terms of handling. Let's bring that back, though, because we're pretty much perfect on where we were, on where Verstappen wants it. So I'll send him out on softs now, even though it is raining right now. It's very much damp, but as the water comes down, it'll be perfect timing in terms of trying to get at least one level on the dry conditions. Vettel's in, and he's, oh, that's perfect. 3 excellence on the feedback there, so I can literally just change the tyres and go. That is absolutely perfect there. So that's what you want to see in a race where we want to try and get a 1-2, or at least get back at Merc and get the win. Vettel, 3 excellence, looking good at Singapore. Of course, Vettel historically in real life good at the Singapore Grand Prix, so that's decent. Things are looking up. Right, so we should get level 1 at least, minimum, on these tyres and the quali trim, and then it'll probably could just squeeze out level 2, you know. Let's see as they go through. The water's going to start to fall there, and that knowledge is going to get slower and slower. Come on, is it going to get to level 2? No, it's going to slow right up there. So no point. I think we'll just continue on for the sake of getting quali trim, but that tyre knowledge is just slowed down so much there. So they're both, I'm going to call them both in. There's no point. There's like, there's a third of the bar left, but that third of the bar literally probably won't get done in a 2 minutes, so we may as well just bring them in, check Verstappen set up, and then we'll pretty much be at the end of the session. It's a poor for Verstappen on the downforce, which is surprising. So I'm going to revert back to 89%, and then go the other way then, in that case. And then that was great. So that was the correct way, actually. So that was great. That was good. So I'm going to continue, go back to where we were, and go even one more. One click the other way. So that would be excellent, maybe, hopefully. And I will quickly do a 1-lap stint on Inters just to quickly check this. All right, there we go. That's a bit more like it. 1 great, 1 excellent, 1 good. Probably could do a little bit more tweaking Q1. But all in all, I think that we made the most of what was a very sporadic practice session, really. Level 2 on race trim, level 2 quali, level 2 Inters, level 1 softs. So not a lot of knowledge for quali or the race, but everyone's surely going to be in the same boat. So I'm actually hoping there's no rain in the race, because I think that might mix things up, hopefully. But Q1 is upon us, all sunny skies, and for once, I'm going to take soft tire knowledge in, and for once I might not even use the soft tire as a banker tire. I might even go out on the super softs, because why not? Because why would I want to waste some soft tires if we're going to use them in the race, basically, for quite a while? This was good. That was great. So let's go back to where we were. So maybe clicked in the other direction then, perhaps. That might be the final perfect setup for Verstappen. But I'll start on super soft tires, and we'll actually just take Q1 on super softs. I'm going to, for once, try and qualify in Q2 on the soft tire, because I want to start. I think I want to start the race on that tire. Right, so time's set. We're all on the same compound of tyre this time round, and Hamilton does go faster. So Merc aren't as bad as I thought they would be in terms of, also we haven't got the advantage, I guess, that I thought we would be. More so, because, well, actually, to be fair, Red Bull are quite off the pace there. So both us and Merc are just quick at this circuit then. So it's not a kind of case of we're lacking pace compared to our rivals. Merc have just stepped up at Singapore compared to everyone else as well, because there's a massive gulf there. So it really is a 2-horse race in this Grand Prix, I would say. But through into Q2 then, of course. Easy does it. And then now, for the first time ever, I think, in this series, I will qualify on the middle compound tire in Q2. Right, here we go then. Uncharted territory. Send them out on soft tyres. Of course, this is just to get through into Q2, but it's uncharted territories in terms of, come the race day, we'll be locked onto this tyre, unless it rains. And knowing my luck with this game and the timing of weather, it's probably going to rain at the start of the race and completely just throw this entire strategy out the window, probably. But we'll see about that. But this is just to get through into the top 10 shootout. Hopefully none of these guys in the kind of drop zone are going to be quick enough on super softs to kind of knock us out or kind of have any issues with us. It doesn't look like it, because we're only 2 tenths off there, Hamilton. So as we move down the table a little bit, as everyone else sets lap times. Looks like we should be safe. Verstappen's the lowest. We're going to go P8 there, and it starts to rain at the end of Q2. Didn't even see that. I didn't even bother looking, but there we go. So no one will be going faster, and so we're through to Q3. Job done, and we're starting on the soft compounded tyre. Right, top 10 shootout time then. We're back onto the super soft tyres, and it's time to now take the fight to Merc for pole position. Hopefully this man here, 98% on the setup. Come on, Vettel. Surely you've got eyes on pole position. You did beat Max in that second session there, which is surprising because remember Verstappen technically has the better engine as of now, and then obviously in the race Vettel has the better engine with that stat boost in the race. But come on, Seb, you're usually good at Singapore. I think did we have a good race last season at Singapore? I can't even remember. That's quite some time ago actually since that episode came out. I want to say yeah. I think so. Anyway, let's go. Okay, outlap. Hopefully it's going to be good. Good and overheated, so better outlap for Verstappen. But let's just see what the lap time says then as we go through then with the first sector. Who will keep the purple? Vettel keeps purple. He's gone faster than Verstappen and Hamilton that first sector. So, indeed, Vettel's looking good. Purple second sector. Let's see how this progresses. Hamilton's gone faster. Second sector. Interesting. Okay, let's see how this last sector goes through. Across the line, it's a 1:13.944. What does Hamilton do? Hamilton does go faster by 0.07 of a second, and Verstappen is 2.7 off the pace. Surprise there for Max. Equally surprised for Hamilton, to be fair there, because I thought we had that. It felt like we had that, but 0.07. Very, very close between Hamilton and Vettel then. So we go again, obviously a second run. Hopefully Vettel can make the difference of that 700. That's literally like not having one lock up basically into a corner. So hopefully he can do that and get pole position off Hamilton. But we will see. And hopefully Verstappen can try and join him. Because at the moment Verstappen's being beaten by Ricciardo as well. So don't know what's up with that. Don't know. Verstappen's just not good this circuit perhaps. Not too sure. Because consistently last two episodes Verstappen's been better in quali for obvious reasons. But this race, not the case right now, but we're going to wait a little bit. Track grip's going to go up. There's no rain. Yeah, there's no rain. So we'll wait till about 2 minutes to go. Send out Verstappen. And then we'll wait till about 1:30. And then we'll send out Vettel very, very late on. Literally last dash, basically. But I'll try and time this so we don't get into traffic with other cars. So send Verstappen out now. And then, oh, they're coming around the final bend now. So I'm going to actually send Vettel out as well this early on. Just so we can make sure there's no... Now you can see on the mini-map there, both of them got a decent amount of clean air. So hopefully this will be it. This is the pole position or 1-2 front row lockout laps from both these guys. Hopefully cold and perfect for Verstappen on that outlap. It's good and perfect. That's a better outlap for Vettel than he had on the previous one. So good sign there. But let's see. First sector. What we saying, Verstappen? Is it going to be a green or a purple? Please say at least green. Yes, it is. Green first sector. Vettel, what we saying? Is it going to be purple? Yes, it is. Good stuff. Right, Verstappen, second sector, green. So it's not going to be pole, but it's going to hopefully be better than Ricciardo. Vettel set another purple there. Hamilton's on the in-lap. Verstappen across the line, and he improves by not that much, actually, just a tiny amount. But Vettel, the man, across the line, and he does grab pole position at the Singapore Grand Prix by 0.04 of a second to Lewis Hamilton there. Great stuff there. Surprised, very surprised to see him 0.2 faster than Verstappen with the slower engine right now. But maybe he's just a Singapore specialist, really. Maybe he really is. But that's great. Pole position bagged. And hopefully he'll be running away with the race win. And we'll be focusing on Verstappen chasing after Ricciardo and Hamilton. At least that's what I hope. And obviously we start on the soft compound tyre. So that will be a difference here. We might not actually run away as much as I want to. Vettel probably could build the gap on super softs, but because we're starting on a compound harder than the Mercs, they might actually give us a good run for the money at the start of this Grand Prix, actually. So I didn't think about that. That actually might make things quite tricky for us. And what do you know? It is raining at the start of the Grand Prix. What did I say? What did I literally say in Q2? That we're going to do this different alternative strategy of qualifying on a harder compounded tyre, and it's going to rain, and so the rule will not matter. That's thrown out, and it doesn't matter. We're all starting on inters. How did I know? The first time we've ever done that in this series, qualify on a harder compounded tyre, and we don't even get to implement the strategy that will give us in the race. Oh, great. So, in terms of the race then, because of our new forecasting centre, we can see a little bit further in, it's going to be wet for most of this Grand Prix. It looks like it will just get dry for the last third of this race. So to that effect, I will take in the intermediate knowledge. We may as well. Level 2 on inters. it's a no-brainer because we'll be on those tyres for longest. There's a chance maybe we go to full wets, but I don't think so. I think everyone will just kind of see it through in that first stint, and even if it gets to full wet weather, I think we'll all just stay on inters and try and do 2 stints of inters and 1 stint of dry tyres, because these tyres should go the distance. How long to go? 14 laps? 14 laps is about halfway through that stint, yeah. So I'd say, yeah, just a 1 stop on inters, and then we get onto dry tyres by about lap 28, I would say, 28, 29. So both drivers will start on the inters then, of course. In terms of driver strategy, I'll just go full out attack then for both drivers. Just go nice and aggressive at the start. But yeah, so this entire race now has just changed the dynamic. At the start, I thought we were going to get chased down by Merc, but now we might have a good chance of actually getting away with Vettel. He's on a 5-star rating now. Obviously, the way the mod works is the star rating can go up and down based off what they've actually done in the race, which is surprising because Vettel did pretty poorly last race, but I guess the pole position that he got was good enough to kind of get him up to 5 stars now going into this Grand Prix. So we might see a pretty unbeatable Vettel hopefully in this race. At least I'm hoping so. And then we can just focus on getting Verstappen up into P2 hopefully. Right, here we go then to 5 red lights to this Singapore Grand Prix. Vettel on pole, Verstappen in P4. 5 red lights are out and we're underway. It is a good start there for Sebastian Vettel. It's an equally good one for Verstappen. Down the inside he goes of Daniel Ricciardo up into P3. Hamilton now in a Ferrari sandwich. Hopefully Verstappen can just get on the back of him straight away. We're going to go on auto on the ERS and hopefully, oh no, Verstappen gets overtaken by Ricciardo through that next right-hander. So I was going to say hopefully he can try and push on and overtake Hamilton. Not the case now, but look at Vettel already 1.3 ahead of Hamilton there, 1.5. He's doing the work. He's doing the work. Fast up the Grand Prix, of course, but he's pulling away 1.6. Verstappen now is once again back up into P3 and now looking a bit more comfortably up into P3, and hopefully now we start chasing after Hamilton. Gonna go a little bit cautious though on the tyres though and just say pushing for both drivers. Also on the fuel, don't want to go too early on the fuel burn, so I'll go high there and just hold station like this. See what Verstappen can do in this hold pattern. If you can't catch Hamilton the next, 1 lap or 2, then so be it. We're gonna have to play the long game here, especially with the wet weather coming. Actually, gonna have to go neutral here and just take this nice and easy. You don't want them crashing when it's technically full wet weather. That's what we don't want. So we'll just hold station like this in 1 and 3, hopefully, and not lose too much time to Hamilton as the gap is fluctuating from 2.2 to 2. And now it's 3.2 in a blink of an eye because Hamilton's really slowed down. And oh, look at that! Verstappen's got him. Verstappen's got him in the chicane. Wow. Okay then. I don't know where where that pace has come from Verstappen, but he's just done a mega job there. I think he outbroke him into the chicane there in the left and right and got him up into P2. Don't know where that pace came from for Verstappen, but it's come out of nowhere. I think he might have used his ERS, but he's up into P2. It's a 1-2 for Ferrari now. So now we really do try and hold station here and try and see this through until it gets back to kind of normal rain levels, because right now technically if you wanted to we could go onto full wet tyres, but we're just going to see this through and just try and tiptoe around the circuit on inters and basically just get to the next pit stop window. Right, Vettel is now. Oh, what on earth has happened to Verstappen? He says, "Charlie, effing wake up!" So I think something just happened there. Verstappen locked up. I think he might have got hit by Hamilton because Hamilton is under investigation there. So, and he's got damage. So I think what's just happened there is I think Hamilton was in P3, went for a move on Verstappen, hit him off, broke a bit of his car. Now might have a penalty, and Ricciardo also jumped us with that there. So that's really unfortunate for Verstappen. But he's got pace. He should have the pace to re-overtake Ricciardo. And Hamilton, well, I would say, is he gonna pit right now? Is he pitting right now for his penalty, potentially? Or making a pit stop for a change of fixing? No, I think that's his penalty. I think he's serving his penalty. So there we go. Lewis Hamilton got a penalty. That's a bit of... you know what? That's karma. That's karma for the British Grand Prix. Remember when Vettel was in the lead? He crashed with the blue flag car of Raikkonen and got a penalty for it. That's karma coming back to us there. Hamilton with the penalty now. And all Max has to do is try and chase back after. And as I say it, speak of the devil... re-overtake Ricciardo, get back up into P2, and all order is resumed for Ferrari. Good stuff, lads. Carry on as you are. Right, we've got warm tyres for both drivers now, lap 11. We'll continue on for, I would say, maybe one more lap. I might try and get an undercut on Verstappen going, actually. So let's go attack mode now. Because we've gone, what, 12 laps. We go another 12 to 24, and that's when the rain will die down. But I say die down, it's going to just be another inter tyre, actually, because it's going to continue raining the entire race. So we might not even be onto a set of dry tyres this entire Grand Prix. So, yeah, I'm going to go pushing for Verstappen then. And let's try and pit in on this lap and get a bit of an undercut then. Onto another set of inters. We have enough inters for the entire race. That's all fine. Fast pit stop for Verstappen. Let's risk it. And let's go for it. Go low fuel. Oh, couldn't go low fuel straight away. Right, Vettel, push now, mate. Right, Vettel's in now for his pit stop. 12% tyre wear, not too bad. Pretty much perfect timing, I think, because he still gained time on that in-lap. He comes out and, oh, Verstappen's a little bit close there. As Vettel comes through, the gap is only 2.2, 2.9. The gap was about 6 seconds there, so Verstappen did gain a decent amount of time. But now, look at that. Vettel has plus 73.73 of fuel. So much fuel to burn, whereas Verstappen's on negative fuel because we pushed him quite hard on the in-lap and the out-lap as well. So we'll calm that down now for him. And we'll continue on like this. But things are looking great. Ricciardo's P3. Hamilton's down in P5. The gap is 3 seconds from Verstappen to Ricciardo. So, no! No! What? No! Are you kidding me? Oh, I jinxed it. I jinxed it. Why on earth did I say everything was going correctly? Why on earth did I say things were going well? Sebastian Vettel has just crashed out the lead of the Grand Prix into the wall. That's a pretty nasty crash. If that was a real-life crash, he's gone into the crowd. That's one of the nastiest crashes you could ever see in Formula 1. And he's crashed out the race lead. And so, amazingly, Verstappen again becomes our lead driver. He won the Grand Prix 2 races ago. He became our lead driver last episode at the death of the Grand Prix when he was on a more aggressive strategy. And now again, he is our lead driver and the only one now in Ferrari that can go ahead and win this Grand Prix. And just when I thought we were going to get a massive swing of points on Mercedes there, a massive haul of points, Vettel's crashed and we've only got one Ferrari car now out in this, and that means unless I think if we get the win and fast up the Grand Prix, I think we can maybe still just outscore Mercedes if Hamilton remains in P4. But if not, we're not even going to outscore them. That is horrendous. Absolutely. What were the odds? I was talking about how good our race was going, and that's the moment Vettel crashes. Like that's just some of the luck, man. Some of the luck in Season 2 of this Ferrari Manager career we've been getting has been absolutely awful. Right, I've got worn tyres for Verstappen once again. I might come in on lap, well, 24. We'll be pitting now. How many laps we got left? 21. These go 16, so we're going to have to make 2 pit stops then. So may as well push in and pit early now for these inters. And then come in for another interset and try and get that fast up the Grand Prix, I think. Right, Verstappen comes in. We've saved a lot of fuel. We're going to come in and we're going to straight away blitz it. And the safety car is called out as we're in the pit lane. So at least that's a bit of good luck for us. We pit under a safety car, so we'll pretty much gain free time there as we go through. And we're up into, well, P1 again, but we gained a lot of time there. But of course now, because it's a full safety car, not a virtual one, all of us will back up there. So it's time to save fuel, save tyres. And, well, see this through. Well, Alonso and Hamilton have gone to super soft tyres because they think it's worth the risk, but I don't. I don't think it's worth the risk. Although they might set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. That's a shout, actually. They might set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, you know, on that tiny little bit of dry periods. They might just go fast enough to set it. And therefore, we won't get the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Ugh, tricky. Tricky. We've already committed now to P1. We've committed. Right, safety car's heading to garage. Going to warm up these tyres because we're going to need them as hot as we can get them. Right. High. Let's go. On the exit. Go auto and use ERS. I'll let the computer decide that as we go through then. Safety car returns to the pit lane. The computer does not use any ERS, and so we'll just push on there. Obviously, Alonso and Hamilton have gone to P2 and P3 already on the super soft tyres because the track is not damp enough for inters and it's pretty much dry. I'm the only one now. Yeah, I'm the, like, literally, where's Ricciardo gone? Has Ricciardo also pit onto the inters? Yeah, no, he's also pit onto super softs. I'm the only man in a top team on inters still, but that's because there's only 2 laps of dry tyres. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Track's dried out. We've just set the fast lap of the Grand Prix on inters, so that says a lot right now about the pace of our car. But I'm going to calm things down. I'm going to save fuel. There's no point burning fuel. Let's just take it easy here. Conserve these tyres. They're going to come and catch us. They're going to catch us. But we should have the pace then later on, surely. Come on. Right, Alonso's going to overtake us. Oh, Nick Cassidy's crashed. And it's another safety car. The safety car saved us. Oh, look at that. We're still P1. And a second safety car just saved our bacon. They can't overtake us. Sneaky pit stop on the safety car. Yes. Let's go for it. But let's go for another set of inters. Because it will be inters weather at the end of this race. So, let's just get a pit stop under the safety car for inters weather. Right, I'm coming in. Hamilton is not. Alonso's not. Fair play. That's their prerogative. We come in. It's a good pit stop. We're out in P3 still. So we're P3. That's all fine by me. Safety car will go out for one whole lap. And by the end of it, as it comes in, there'll be one lap of dry running. But then it'll start to rain straight away. And you know that Hamilton and Alonso will have to come in for inters. There's no way they don't. So we're fine. We're looking good. We've got also 2 laps worth of fuel here as well. So we are good. We are very good. So heading into garage now. We'll go full out attack, overtake mode. It's bone dry right now. So actually I might want to go neutral. I need neutral. I'll go neutral. I don't want to push Verstappen too much. But here we go. Hopefully Verstappen doesn't crash. He's down to P5, 7, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Don't panic. Don't panic. 12. That's cool. Don't panic. Don't panic. Sergio Perez has crashed. I thought for a second we crashed there. Alright, don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. ERS fully charged. Let's use some ERS then. Come on. Get back to P7. And it's starting to rain now. Now we push. Now we push. And we're up into P2. Good stuff. Hamilton is 0.8 ahead of us. We've saved a lot of ERS though. So here we go. On to this next lap there. Let's push. ERS all the way through. Come on. Come on. Save ERS. Hamilton uses his ERS. Hamilton uses ERS the entire time there. Come on, fast up the Grand Prix. Fast up the GP. Good. Right, go neutral. Save ERS. Right, 0.9 behind Hamilton. Hamilton's good in the wet. Hamilton's so good in the wet. No. Oh, the plan nearly worked. We were all the way up into P2, but Hamilton was fast enough to stay in P1 here. That's annoying. And the gap is now 2.6. Hamilton's pushing where he was on full out attack. He now is again. And now our tyres are falling away. So the gamble I took, it almost paid off here. But Hamilton, quite amazingly, has come through to finesse us and get P1. Right, final lap of the Grand Prix. Final lap of the Grand Prix. My tyres are going off so much here. But let's do this. Final lap of the GP. We've got overtake mode going. We'll go on high. Come on, gaining. Oh, no. That mistake is not what we needed. Without that mistake, I think we could have, genuinely, I think we could have got Hamilton there. We were so close to him, but that driving mistake for Verstappen has just meant it's not to be. And so, on the line, we'll run out of fuel, actually. Across the line, P2. We should have won that. We should have won that. Hamilton, literally, Hamilton was half a second ahead of us in P1 when he pit for his new inters. So that strategy almost paid off completely for us. Frick's sake. That's so frustrating. That's so frustrating. And now in hindsight, if I pit for super softs, when I pit for inters, I would have been P3 with super softs. And then I could have just pit when Hamilton pit. Oh, man. That's a loss. That's a lost opportunity there. I tried to be too clever, I think, with that strategy. I did a Mercedes sometimes in real life. Tried to be too clever there, and it just didn't work out. Alright, so in the end then... Oh! Oh my god, in another twist of events, Hamilton... Yeah! Hamilton has just been demoted and disqualified out of the Grand Prix for having broken the GMA rules. So, in a twist of events, Verstappen in the end does get the win and does get 12 points fast up of the Grand Prix as well. Watch it. No. Oh my god. I was so gutted by that loss of the win. And that has just come through and saved the day. Oh my lord. So in the end we do outscore Mercedes then by a whopping 6 points then to 12 to Ricciardo's 6. And so that is awesome. Verstappen now has 21 points off Hamilton. Both Hamilton and Vettel score no points that race. But in the Constructors now, we're 6 points ahead of Wow, that is a roller coaster of emotions this entire episode. We were 1-2, Vettel crashed, Verstappen in the lead, Verstappen loses the lead, and then gets the lead back. Hamilton demoted. Absolutely amazing. No wonder Hamilton was quick at Singapore. No wonder Merck looked quick at Singapore. They broke GMA rules. That is why. That is why why I never mess around with risk levels on parts. That's why I never do it, because you're going to get caught. You are. And so Merc got caught out. 1.2 there. Unfortunately, it's a bad day in the office for Vettel. His morale's going to be shot a little bit. Unfortunately, his form's going to be shot a little bit. But it's another win then for Max Verstappen. His second win for the team. Kudos, to be fair. Kept it in there. If he wasn't second place there, he wouldn't have inherited the lead. So he did a great job there, to be fair, all things considered. And so that's been, overall, actually a pretty damn decent episode, where we didn't gain ground with Vettel and Hamilton. But remember, it's the manager career mode. We only really care about the constructors. So in that kind of sense, it was a great episode. 6 points ahead of Merc. Can't complain. So guys, if you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you aren't around here, subscribe for weekly 4-1 content. I'm aarava. Hope you enjoyed today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.